Gio, just to start us off, just a little bit of your thoughts on tonight's match.
Yeah, the frustrating result. What differentiate this game from one team to the other is that Philadelphia scored 2 goals and we couldn't find the net. We put a lot of work. We've created chances. But at the end of the day, they took advantage of the 2-3 moments that they had. They put a lot of work in. Philly is a difficult team to play against. If you don't have a constant energy, they never stop. So credit to them, to the fact that they found 2 goals that I think was the separation from them and us. We couldn't find those goals. We'll have to look at the replay of the goal of Seba. They said that was offside. I will have to look into it. That would change definitely the momentum of the game. But it is what it is, and we have to stay positive and continue to work.
Thank you. We'll open it up to questions.
Hi, Gio. How difficult is it to put a lineup together right now, given the injuries that the team is facing? And can you give an update at all about Eryk and Dario's status?
Yeah, it's difficult because, for example, sometimes when it comes a moment that hits you, then all of a sudden, you have injuries, you have health, situations that prevent you from having a full roster. And it's frustrating not to be able to have everybody available. Eryk, I don't think that will be available for this weekend coming up. That's my, thought, even though he was very smart to come out of the game before the hamstring, suffered something more difficult to handle. And I think that will be something that will not be too long. I think Dario, the hope is that he will be available for this weekend coming up. We'll see. And hopefully we can get some other guys back again. We had only 1 goalkeeper as well today, and I think that he endured the match. And sometimes when you go through these moments, it's a difficult situation. And it's unfortunate, the way we lost this game, because I thought the guys put a lot of work into it, and we just didn't find the net, and we allowed them to be able to find 2 moments to decide the game.
And who would have been the goalkeeper if Ivacic wasn't able to play? Who was the backup, I guess, in that situation?
Bigan would have been definitely either the backup or the player to play. So,
but without Bingham.
We have Hunter, we have Wonstein, but none of them are available. So we had only Ivacic, and if we had to use a field player, we have Tuiloma, Bonilla, Rasmussen. We'll have to, improvise and hope for the best. But thank God that Ivacic endured the entire match.
For sure. And this is unrelated to tonight's match, but there's an Italian journalist, Niccolò Schira, who reported that Venezia has chosen you as its next manager. Are you able to speak to that at all?
No, I'd rather talk about the game today. This is the most important thing. And for me, I'm the coach of Portland Timbers, and this was a tough game to digest.
Have you had any contact with them?
I'd rather stay on the game. I think that's the most important part for today, and I think one of the things that I told the players is we need to stay positive, because we're doing a lot of things that are good, and we have to focus on what we need to do better.
Gio, on tonight's game, you talked a little bit about how it's difficult to play Philadelphia, and how dynamic the team is, and do you feel like the Timbers tonight were not as dynamic as they could have been, and that's why you couldn't put up with the Philadelphia offensive and defensively?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it that way. I think defensively we did many good things. I mean, the only thing is we conceded probably 3 chances, and 1 came off on a throw-in, and in those 3 chances they scored 2 goals. But they definitely every time that they had the ball, they will attack the space, they will run at us, they will be difficult. But I thought we defended well. Besides those two moments, I think the difference was that maybe we could have done some things a little bit better. For example, I think Seba was many times open on the left side. We didn't find them enough. We didn't switch the point of attack enough to be able to put him 1v1, especially on a player that had a yellow and was on the verge of getting a red. We made it easy. We made it easy for them, for the referee, to manage the game that way. And I think if we would have moved the ball better, if we would have combined, if we would have been a little bit more direct in some moments in regards to, sometimes we got in good areas and then it wasn't on, and then we just kept on passing, trying to find, and it's difficult. Sometimes that space is not going to be perfectly open, and you just have to force it. And I think sometimes we missed a little bit of that, and then we missed a couple of runs inside the box sometimes in those crosses that we could have, like there was a cross that came in the first half that I think if we made Nathan made it run a little earlier. That was a very good cross, and we could have gotten there. So we missed that little part of it, and I think they did that a little bit better. But the reality was all on, on the 2 goals that they scored that make the big difference at the end of the day.
How do you see it's a second game for what's his name? The Brazilian guy.
Nathan.
It's his second game. How do you see it?
Third match, second at home.
Second at home. Yeah, sorry.
And it's not easy. It's to maintain sometimes a level. Is tough, and he did a lot of work. He showed, that he can compete. He hold the ball well. These 2 center backs in Philadelphia, they're tough. And I thought that he combined it, and did some very good things. He didn't have that much space to create, something more. Maybe in some moments, he could have been a little calmer to find better options. But, he's done really well for us in these games. And fortunately, just that he didn't find the net again today.
One last one. Adding Maviala and Loria in the second half, almost at the end of the last minutes of the game. What were you looking for when you add them in the game at that moment in the game?
I thought that by us putting 1 extra player in the back, then we can send the wing backs a little bit higher. We can have a little bit more central players that will get inside the box a little bit better. So in essence, we try to then at the moment try to attack with 7-8 players, as much as we could, because then at the end also Chara kept on dropping, and we sent Tuiloma even higher to be able to, and he almost scored a beautiful goal if it wasn't with the save of the Philadelphia goalkeeper. So which he's always there. Blake is a tough goalkeeper, and he made some important saves. And I think at the end that's the divider situation. So we just have to make sure that we're a little bit better in those things that we do. But we have to stay positive. There's still a lot of games to be played, and we just hope that we can get more guys healthy.
Gio, you have Miami next weekend, and today wraps up a stretch of 3 games in the last week. And I'm just kind of curious, you talked about the injuries, but how do you think you guys approached it, having that San Jose game midweek, and especially earlier in the season when you get later on and you have more of these 3-game weeks? What do you kind of take away from how you approach it early on at this point in the season, and how do you kind of want to approach it going forward?
Yeah, we have to analyze first, the personnel that we're going to have. Today was a tough day because Eryk, came out injured. Chara got a yellow card that I think only the referee understood what happened there in the yellow card, because there was a foul, on Chara, and he gave Chara a yellow card and foul against him. So because of that big mistake from the referee, then all of a sudden now we don't have Chara available for the next game. So this is the frustration situation that we go through. But as I said to the players, where the referees, they will make their mistakes, and we just have to make sure that we don't that get influenced by the mistakes that they're going to continue to make on a constant basis. So we have to just make sure that we are better to manage the situation, and I thought we did after that. In the second half we did our thing, but now it makes it a little more difficult to plan for Miami, because now we have 2 very important players that are going to be out.